Hey, what's up, dude? You playing with your vesticle again? I might be too. Cause goddamn, that is one swell looking piece of denim, my brother.
Well, guess how much I paid for this? $4. 4 big buckaroodles.
Is that right?
That's right.
Well, let me tell you, brother, that vest is missing one quintessential piece of crucial element.
What's this missing? It's looking pretty perfect to me.
Come on, man. You already know what it is. It's missing the flames, but more importantly, it's missing the eagle.
An eagle?
The eagle.
An eagle?
The eagle.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys can tell by the intro, today what we have up is actually a clean customization where I'm going to add an eagle on top of this thrifted $4 denim Harley Davidson vest. Without further ado, my closet ain't nothing but Harley.
My closet's nothing but Harley. I ride hard without falling. Good wrench on this dead boy. I rev the wheels, now they foggy.
Alright, so what is up, ladies and gentlemen? The first step I did in this tutorial was to actually make a line drawing out of pencil of this eagle. Now, I didn't really record that because it took forever of trial and error to get it right, but once it was right, it was time to apply the paint on this denim piece, and Angela's black leather acrylic paint is the most durable and washable paint, and the link is in the description as per usual. And then I whipped out a flat precision brush and I started going in with the line work. So that pretty much is the first step in this creation, was to outline my previous drawing. That way I knew where I was going, I knew where to place the highlights, the lowlights, and just everything in betwixt. So I did a lot of line work on this eagle, and the reason why I added the eagle was just to make a piece pop, dude. Like, more often than not, I find pieces at the thrift that I feel like I can make come to life a little bit more, or that I can just enhance with some artistry, and so that is essentially what your boy is doing. And so when I was doing the line work, I just try to have one precision ass stroke or a couple of little loosey-goosey ones just to make sure that the lines looked as smooth as possible, as opposed to looking all jaggedy and rigid, because you never want some jaggedy, rigid feathers. That shit just is not aerodynamic, dude. So once I had the outline done, I thought the eagle was looking cool, and so I started adding the highlights on the jaqueta. So what I did was just add all the whites at first, and anytime I do a painting, dude, always start on the least important part. So, I mean, ash definitely is a desirable aspect, but I'm not sure that really applies to the animal kingdom or to birds of prey in particular. So I started my painting on the booty just to get the groove of how the paint reacted on the garment, and I added some nice light white layers of paint and then some light black layers of paint as well. So I watered down the paint just to kind of see how it reacted on the denim and to get a feel for the way I would shade this entire thing. So at the point the piece is at right now, I really was not too happy with the way I was shading the black versus the white, but of course it's a lot better to add thin coats of paint than to go all out and add the darkest colors and then have no recovery or sense of being able to go back. So I added some nice light colors to try and get the gradients right, to try and make the piece look shaded to perfection. And then once I felt like it was looking pretty good, then I started just darkening the darks and lightening the lights, because of course you need black holes in the universe and you need white dwarfs. You need the yin and the yang of this thing. You know what I'm saying? So once the black was looking nice and dark and shaded into the white regions, then I just added some pure white on top of the white I already put down, just to create that contrast and make it blast. So obviously the piece and the booty feathers are looking a lot more tied together and a lot cleaner than they were initially, and that's pretty much all there is to it when you're riding a Buick, is just to start slow, add more layers, and the piece will start to develop and look really damn cool. So then when I started attacking the head, I had a lot more confidence with the painting technique on this denim material. So again, I added all the whites, and then I just further added more layers where I really needed the white to stand out and be highlighted atop the denim backdrop. And so once I had all the whites laid in place and looking very poltergeist-like, then I did the same damn thing. I added the darks onto the head region as well. Now, I personally thought that the head was the most important aspect. You guys know, man, you need that fire head at all times. If you can relate, you know what's up. If you can't, then I'm sorry, maybe one day. Maybe one day. So yeah, I just watered down the black paint as per the usual. And then I started going in on the head region, and I just wanted it to look in between a super crispy white and like a dark because I didn't want this bird to look like a raven. Like, obviously it's the icon of America, so I really needed to depict that this was an eagle and not a raven or any other type of bird. So that's why the head was super important, and that's why I went in and just created a nice light gray all atop that skull piece, man. That dome was definitely looking very, very sick in my humble opinion. So at this point, your boy was pretty satisfied with the way the eagle was coming together. However, I knew I wanted to add some colors and make this thing really stand out as opposed to just being a black and white drawing. So of course, to add any color on denim, you need to lay down a fresh coat of white paint in the regions that you are going to color. So I painted the talons all white. I started painting the beak all white, the eyes all white, just so that way when I laid down that color, it would just pop off the frame. So once all the white paint was actually laid down in the desired location, your boy whipped out the beautiful Angelus yellow and orange acrylic paint. And anytime you add a color of paint on there, you want to make sure that you mix it. So I don't use a color that's straight out the bottle, add a little bit of differentiation to it. So I added just a slight hit of orange just to create a nice like darker mellow yellow. And then I started adding the first coat on the beak, first coat on the talons, and then I whipped out the orange paint and began actually creating some shadow work and some nice differentiations in regards to just having one flat color on this gem. So yeah, man, I just added some dark orange just to create nice little like shadows, just to make the beak and the talons more dynamic. And that is what it's all about, boy. And once the yellow paint was laid down in the proper locations, you guys can already see this piece is definitely starting to look more fly. Get it? Because it's an eagle. But yeah, man, like it just really helped myself figure out that, yo, this piece is coming together nicely, and I actually can see that there is an end in sight. Now when painting the wings, your boy of course had to start off with the highlights once again, and then I went in with the dark shadows as per usual. Now what I figured out with painting on denim is when you do a black and white painting, if you use the denim color that's already there, it serves as a perfect mid-tone between the dark and the light. And as you just let up on the pressure of the brush, bro, it'll naturally get faded and look shaded. Bars. So here's a little close-up depiction of what your boy was doing. So I was just pressing down a little bit harder right where the one layer of feathers kind of was shadowing onto other, if that makes any sense. And then I just kept going and lightened up the brush stroke to create a nice little gradation slash gradient. But I did feel like, you know, doing this process on this denim piece really has enabled me and sharpened my skills for continuing customizations on future denim. And I feel like the first wing looked really dope, and then it was time to tackle the second. So same shit, different toilet, added the highlights, went in with the darks, and at this point you guys can kind of get the gist of what I was doing, hopefully. And if not, then shit, just enjoy the visuals, bro. The whole reason why I did this was I just had this vest and I was like, yo, I can make this shit look more popping, and that's what I did. And largely on YouTube, guys, just on some real shit, bro, I do not create as much dope shit as I possibly can. Like, I know a lot of you guys like seeing art, but it's just real hard to get views on shit that actually is artistic on YouTube. So that's a little bit frustrating. So if you guys are enjoying this, make sure you like this video, obviously, and show some love. But right now I'm actually going in the talons and doing some detail work with a precision brush, just adding some nice little curved lines to create the texture, to make shit look a little bit more 3D, and just to tie the piece together in its entirety. So once the wings were done, I added some nice red in the eyes and the tongue, and then I hit the eye with a nice bright green just to really make the piece pop off the frame. So a little bit of color here and there definitely can make the piece stand out and look really freaking sick, and that's obviously what I think I did. So here's the eagle completely done at this point, and I was very satisfied with the way it looked. However, it just looked like an eagle sticker on the back of this piece, so I had to add some heat to it, bro. I just couldn't leave it as is, so your boy started going in and actually creating some La Flame straight up. So yeah, I actually took a picture of this, of the eagle just plain as is. Then I went in my phone and I drew the flames on after with like my finger, and I was like, yeah, we definitely need to add some flames. So as opposed to just going for it, sometimes you guys can do mock-ups with like your phone, take a little picture, add a little thing here and there, even like drag different images onto a blank like denim jacket or vest to kind of get the feel as to how your customization might look at the end of the day. So once I started applying color, again, I added the light orange on the interior of the flames, then went in with the darker orange, and then obviously went in with a red along the whole thing. Now I wanted the flames to look more red orange, then obviously like a light kind of yellow orange, just because I wanted them to really pop, and I wanted some more red flames all up on this thing. And I felt like if I had red integrated into the piece, I could honestly match this with a lot more shit. And so that is what I did. And nothing is scarier than an eagle that is coming down, descending through the sky with fucking flames just bursting off its wings and ash. So yeah, Honestly, I really like the way the piece turned out. I just outlined the rest of the flames with the black, and here is what the piece looked like when it was completed. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And as per usual, here's a lookbook of what the jacket looks like on body, because that's the most important part, obviously.